What is going on here?
Well. What's all this then?
Well. It's a American.
It is Americano. Is everything
It's
good?
Americano.
I think everything is good.
Oh, pardon me.
How are you this morning?
I only just woke up.
I am live. I went live like a minute before you joined the call.
Oh no, everybody knows. I woke up a minute ago.
Oh no.
Oh no. Let me get Twitch open.
No worries. How's it going, Vitaly? Skopika, how are you doing today? Are you dying?
You know this. Oh my god. It's pop up and it's not going away. There we are. Right. Twitch, the Fizz Whiz.
Oh, excuse me. Samka, how are you doing today? So what?
The new setting for the moderators of Twitch.
Oh.
Like a chat highlight thing.
I see. Samka, how are you doing today? How's it going? Also, you're doing mid. That's very mid of you, Vitaly.
I scanned the area before I arrived, and all I could find was mid.
Oh, things get better for you, Vitaly. Make sure I can play the game without. So what?
There's a lot of messages in the Discord. I just need to read through the pop-ups.
Oh. I think everything will work.
Long boy. Long quill boy.
Okay. Normally, we would do these streams with my old layout, but I don't feel like doing that. So we're just going to do that. And I'm going to use my reactive because I don't feel like opening VTube Studios because that will take up more resources. Yeah, I do have my PNG set up.
I didn't even know you had it set up for PNG tube.
Yeah, it's actually a browser thing you use, not actually a program. I think there is a program version of it, but it's a browser that just connects to your Discord and tracks whenever you're talking or not, and then it just changes your PNG that you then like input through OBS as a browser source. So
very cool.
VTube Studio would have taken up resources that I did not want to give up. So I was like, no.
Super Omega. So that's right, we're adding Super Omega. He gets Goku hair, turns yellow.
Ah, correct. It'll be the Super E6 robot.
Yes.
Exactly. A friend of mine who I'm working with on another project had sent me like audio for a video that he's putting together that I was like helping with. And he was using a bunch of Game Boy Advance fucking music in it. And now it's stuck in my head. Like a bunch of Sonic Advance 3 and Sonic Battle music. It's funny, the first sequence where I show up in the video, he pulls out the fucking non-aggression, which is the final boss thing for Sonic Advance 3. The first time I show up in the video, he pulls out that song.
But you're just aggression on wheels.
True.
You're American.
I wake up and I take my aggression pills every morning. Choose violence.
He takes his aggression out on the elves.
Alrighty. It's been about 5 minutes. Who wants to see Whipper?
Nah, who cares about Whipper? Get that boy Omega out. We need to see him.
Get Omega out.
Get Omega out.
So we've not shown anything off in the project in a long time. Mostly just because I've not. A lot of what we've been doing in the project is stuff that we really can't show. It's just a bunch of background shit for the most part. Like, the last new thing we actually added that was like of substance to showcase was the QTE. After that, it was mostly all just like just cleanup work, which isn't really worth showing off. And even then, I haven't done anything in the project in like almost 2 months personally. I think it's been like about a month and a half.
Doing stuff.
Yeah, he's been doing stuff. I've seen him like open the project and stuff like that, but
I was in call with him the other day and he was showing me stuff he was working on and telling me about what he plans to do.
I saw that.
Did you?
Yes, he
Did
better
you really?
fucking get those changes pushed. I'm setting the deadline to be January 31st. That will be the day that we release.
I thought it was February.
I work February 1st, and my next day off will be my birthday. So I'd prefer to do it like on a day that, you know, we can actually show things. Like I can be present for.
Yeah. Oh god.
You know you can. You know what you can whip? Oh, we can whipper. We can do the whipper.
But I said no.
Well, I said fuck you.
I'm British. My vote is vetoed.
True. You can't. You don't vote. You have a. Actually, no. You don't have a queen no more.
We do vote.
You have a patriarchy, or is it a monarchy now?
It's a democracy.
Sure.
I love democracy.
I love democracy. We had this whole like trailer and stuff planned out, but the people that we got a hold of to like work on the trailer hasn't gotten back to us yet. And even then, we also haven't like recorded any footage for it, and I'm just way too tired. I've been wanting to show off Whisper for a long time now. Like I've been wanting to showcase her, and at this point in time, I don't care if it's a fancy trailer or not. So I'm gonna go ahead. Was there? Nope. Alrighty. Let's get started then. Actually, you know what? I might be able to stream to Discord. Let's see.
Oh. Yeah, I can watch in real time. Cool. Time for 10 FPS. Let's go.
Alright, here we go. It whipper time.
That's not Whisper. That's Omega.
That's Grand Metropolis Zone. So this here is our first showcase of Whisper. This is what she looks like. I think we've shown what she looks like before, but this is like a longer than a 2-second clip. Alright, that's it. Goodbye. No more. We shut off Whisper.
We're done. Yay.
Yep, stream's over.
We said we'd show her. So,
Yep,
you know.
I didn't say anything. Would we do anything else? Alright, this is... I'm not gonna lie, I needed to stream something today because I'm trying to make sure I stream on like days that I don't work and stuff like that. But I'm like, it's the last day of the year. I just recently announced
W stream.
W stream 5 seconds. Hell yeah. We didn't even hit the 10-minute mark. 10 out of 10. How's it going, Tiger? I recently announced my retirement, so I'm like, you know what? For the last stream of the year, we're gonna do Infinity Plus and we're gonna show off Whisper. Because I want to. Fuck you, that's why. So let's see here.
I was held against my will again.
Yeah. I pinged Reese and I'm like, I want to show Whisper. He's like, no. I'm like, too bad I'm doing it. He's like, okay.
It's like, oh, fine. I won't get my cookies otherwise, and I have not yet. So
this little Whisper, whenever she starts out, she's a little bugged at the moment from the visual deployment. When she first starts out, it wasn't like this, but then we made some changes and it bugged out a little bit. I'll see if we can fix it before release, but it's really not that big of a deal. Essentially, Whisper has 2 different states. She is currently in. That's the best attitude. Ideas because I want to. Yeah, that's true. That's how I live most of my life. Whisper has 2 different states that she can be in, and the core point of her gameplay is swapping between these 2 different states. Currently, she's in her exploration state. If you press the right shoulder button,
Burst.
she goes into her combat state. Junkie, how you doing today?
Oh, hello, Junkie.
Now, her exploration state is a little bugged at the moment whenever you first start out. Like, whenever it first opens up, it's a little bugged for some reason. Not sure why. But if you swap to her combat state, and then you swap back to her exploration state, her animations fix, and she gets a little whisper. Look at the little wisp right there. So, Whisper has 2 completely different playstyles that you are meant to swap back and forth in tandem as the level demands it. Combat style and exploration style. Which one do you guys want to see first? Both of them are pretty in-depth, so...
Exploration first, I would say.
Exploration will take less time, but it's still pretty in-depth. What chat, what do you guys want to see first? You want to see exploration whisper, or do you want to see combat whisper? Tiger says exploration. Vitaly says combat. That's 1 for each. Anyone else in chat have a vote that they want to submit? Alright, that's 2 for exploration. Reese's vote doesn't count, so that's 2 for exploration, not 3. Boing.
I don't
I'll
think
give
we
it-
can choose that one, Vitaly, because otherwise we'll get banned from Twitter.com.
My last stream of the year, and I get banned because I show combat.
Cap.
Go away. All right, well, I guess we will be doing the exploration showcase part of Whisper's kit. So Whisper, I remember way back in the very beginning, early days of Infinity Plus, I had mentioned that I wanted to add Whisper, and that Whisper would be the only of the comic book characters that we'd be adding, simply because she would be a stand-in for Gadget from Sonic Forces. Gadget's gameplay primarily focused around... we'll get to the animation stuff here in a minute. Which we can probably do here in a second before I showcase too much. Gadget's gameplay primarily revolved around combat, the Wispons, but in addition to the Wispons, Gadget also had grappling hook gameplay.
This is why Whisper took so long to make, because we just had fun with her. It was just too much fun.
So Whisper has a grappling hook. It's way too fucking fun. Reese was correct. Reese was 100% correct in what he just said. We spent way too long not working on the project and way too long just playing with this. Just sitting here for a solid 10 minutes. 10, 30 minutes playing fucking with the grappling hook.
No. So we've managed to tweak it a lot as well. It wasn't just playing with it. We were studying. We were making sure it's as fun as possible.
Yep. So honestly, I'm not entirely sure why the Sonic franchise has not introduced a grappling hook yet. Because this tells me that a grappling hook would work fucking wonders with a momentum-based styled Sonic gameplay. Using proper aiming and swapping between abilities with mechanical skill to propel yourself across levels at high speed through the air is extremely fun. It's very rewarding.
The thing is with Whisper, you will snap level design in half with this type
Yeah.
of grapple.
Spider-Man PS4 Sonic Edition. Yep. Whisper has two different types of grappling hook. She has a hook shot, which you have seen before, which pulls you directly towards your target. And then you have the actual grappling hook, which you can swing back and forth with. And of course, it retains momentum, and the hook shot will also allow you to launch yourself forward and stuff like that, or in directions that you are looking in.
One gives you a lot more like freedom of direction. The other one kind of locks you in.
Yep. The grappling hook, or the grappling hook, is very clearly just like a Spider-Man swing, as you obviously would have guessed. You can move left to right, forward, backwards with it. It's not as like accurate as Spider-Man swinging, obviously. We're not fucking Insomniac here. But I think it works really well. We've gone through like 3 different iterations of the swinging physics for this, and I think this final version is probably some of the best that we've gotten. We've also gone through at least 2 different iterations of the hook shot, this second version being significantly better than the first. Both of these flow extremely well with the basic Sonic gameplay. We've been swinging around this level as well as like some of the other levels that we had made. I think I had like play tested with the old Seagate like twice with it, and it played pretty well. And of course, whenever we were designing Planet Wisp, we were designing Planet Wisp in 2 different segments. There's a segment meant for speed characters and flight characters, and then there was a segment meant for power characters and Whisper. And Whisper and the power character segments worked really well together. Like they worked significantly well together. So I do think that you can make Sonic-like level design using this exploration-based loadout with the grappling hook and the hook shot, and make some very unique and interesting levels that I don't think that we have seen in any Sonic fan games before, at least not 3D ones. It is based off the camera. So here's one major thing about Whisper. We designed her with keyboard and mouse in mind. She was designed from the ground up to be played with keyboard and mouse. However, we have made sure to take extra steps in allowing this to be played with a controller as well. One of these steps is... So what? Say again?
Be right back.
Okay. One of these steps that we made are these pylons that you see everywhere. You've probably seen some of these. And a couple of other like footage we've seen in the background of that we've released of other things. I think you could probably see them in our QTE footage. These here are a little bit different. So on keyboard mouse, in order to activate the grappling hook, you press shift. So the firing button or the boost button. This is shift, that's the grappling hook. In order to do the hook shot, you press the F key or Y on controller. Like that's how these are set up. However, with these pylons, you simply have to homing attack them like you would anything else that you homing attack. You don't have to press any specific button to activate these. Whoop. So if you want to design a more like true original like Infinity Plus Whisper level, you would do it with keyboard and mouse in mind. However, if you want to design a level that is meant for anybody to play with like controllers and stuff, you can use these pylons as well. The red ones will swing you with the grappling hook, while the yellow ones act as a hook shot. Now what's really nice about the hook shot ones is you can set a launch direction that will launch Whisper after she reaches it, as well as a launch force. So I reached it, and then I launched over to the right here. I didn't press anything. As soon as I reached the pylon, I simply just launched over here. You've probably noticed I swing on this one here, and I have like a very limited swinging capability, versus if I attach to this one, my grapple is much longer. I can one of her, like, you can set the grapple length of the pylons as well. It was the main point of that showcase. So you can set the swings to be really short, or you can set the swings to be really long. Similarly to the hook shot, you can set if you want to launch Whisper after she reaches it, or simply drop, or as well as what direction, as well as, like, you know, how hard she gets shot out at. So you're gonna have a good end of the year and Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you, Tiger. I hope you have a great rest of your year. Can you do this with enemies? No. We will be getting into the combat related section of this with enemies here soon, but it'll be just a moment. Stretch, thank you. Okay. Another thing that we did, you don't have to necessarily strictly use these pylons to play with keyboard or play with controller. I've not been using this function just because I've been playing this for so long that I've grown the need to not use it. Whisper has a crouch, obviously, with mouse 2 or right shoulder. This is the rolling button, obviously. But Whisper also has an over-the-shoulder aim mode that you can use to aim more accurately. This can be used with controller as well. It's not required in order to fire out your hook shot, but it is very nice. And what's also really nice about it, which is a huge benefit for controller players, is if you do it in midair, time will slow down for you. It is technically infinite. There is no like time limit on when this happens. You can just hold it as long as you want, aim however you need to, and then fire. So if you need to get a more precise shot in, you can do that. The slowdown will only activate in midair. It doesn't activate on the ground. That helps with controller. It does. Like I said, we made strides to make it playable on controller. It's meant for keyboard and mouse. Ideally, you would play this with keyboard and mouse. But we made strides to make it compatible with controllers as well. Whoop. So you might be saying, oh, this looks really fucking broken. You're swinging on anything and everything. That is true. This is extremely broken. We have come up with a couple of methods that you can use to tone it down a little bit if you want. Make an OG game. Maybe. I've considered it. I will probably end up actually using some of Whisper's code for a project that I'm working on the side, but it will not be like solely surrounding this stuff. So there. I was just showing some of the things that we did to make it playable on controller. So Whisper can, as a couple of, we have a couple of methods to make this less strong, because this is broken as hell. This is super broken. This just breaks the hell out of level design all the time. So we have a couple of different methods that you can utilize. We have a swing cap, like a hard swing cap. So if I swing, I believe the default swing cap is 6 times. So if I swing or use the hook shot, or any combination of the two, a total of 6 times. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. After that, I can't do it anymore. So if you want, you can have a maximum that you can set on how many times you can do it in midair. This maximum can be reset by either landing. So if I hit all 6 and then I landed, it would reset. Or it can be reset by swinging on a pylon or hookshotting to a pylon. So if I use this, 1, 2, let's go with 3, and then we swung, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I hit 7. That's because even though I've swung 6 times, partway through that swing combo, I didn't land, but instead I swung on a pylon. So swinging on the pylons will reset your swing counter. You plan on adding the swing count to the UI. We don't currently have a UI element for it, but you could easily add one.
I mean, I'm going to see if I can get it in it before the due date, because it's useful information to have on screen.
That is true. There is another method that we have that we've already integrated this, but you've probably seen that little thing right there, this little square. Let me open up. Probably should have had Whisper's thing open from the beginning. Whisper. I'm gonna see if we can delete this old Whisper blueprint without breaking everything in half. Where is it?
Just the struggle of Unreal here. You delete one thing, the project decides to delete itself.
Is grapple point what I'm looking for? What was the name of that variable?
Wasn't a grapple type.
Let's see here. Aim is require grapple surface. So if you take this variable on, let's compile.
Burst.
You'll notice that even though I'm aiming, the little aiming reticle that you see in the center of the screen, that's not turning red anymore until I look over this here, in which case I can now grapple onto that. We have set it up so that if you so desire, you can have it so that you're not able to grapple onto a surface that doesn't have a specific material type on it, a specific physics material. So if you want it so that Whisper can grapple onto anything, simply have that boolean turned off. If you want Whisper to grapple onto a specific type of material or a specific list of types of materials, you turn that boolean on, and the trace will look for a specific material before allowing you to grapple onto it. And that's not just like the hook shot, that's the actual grapple as well. Having that will not change the pylons. Whisper will still be able to grapple onto the pylons. Having the require specific material thing will not change anything else when it comes to controller gameplay. You'll still be able to grapple onto the pylons. These use a completely different... those basically use the homing attack tracking code that then fires the hookshot code rather than the other default hookshot code. So if you there are a ton of customizable options that we have integrated into Whisper here, for the sake of expanding how you want to design your levels around Whisper. Give me 1 second. I was gonna sneeze, but I did not. So earlier, I think, was it Junkie that asked about the animations, or is it someone else?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Junkie.
All right, so the animations that Whisper uses right now are all custom. Pretty much all of them are custom. Whisper is the first completely custom animated character, as well as custom modeled character in Infinity Plus. We have had models in Infinity Plus that we have customized and modified, that stuff like that, but Whisper is almost entirely custom. The animations were done by the J Ninja, whom you guys might know as one of the programmers that assisted in Sonic Omens. I had put out a call for needing help with animation, and he answered us, and he gave us a bunch of stuff that he's animated, and he's done an amazing job. I think he did a super, super amazing job animating Whisper. Pretty much any and all animations you see her doing here were done by her. Or, I'm sorry, not her, him. So from her walk to her light jog to her run, she even has a custom roll animation. Her swinging and her aiming animations, all custom. Even got a custom like crouch and crawl. So yeah, they were all done by the J Ninja. Is it all momentum based? So if you don't get a good enough swing, you're not going anywhere. Yeah, all of the swinging physics are momentum based. It's all velocity based. It's all momentum based. We have some precautions set in place to help with like less than ideal swings. Like if you get like a really bad swing, we have systems in place to like give you a little bit of a buff. At first, there's also systems in place for like swinging on something and then landing on the ground, for example. So if like you're swinging on something and you like land on the ground, you'll continue to retain your momentum. Whoop. Things like that. Emmanuel did an insanely good job on this swing code. It's cheese based on Swiss with a lot of holes in it.
Damn, dude.
These pylons are also based on momentum, even though they're like meant to be a little bit more like
automated.
Yeah, they're meant to be a little bit more like an automated version of the basic pylons. These are also based on momentum.
So basically, guys, you need to have done your trigonometry classes if you want to master Whisper's gameplay.
Having master control of the camera, as well as reactionary time and a deep understanding of level design, will allow Whisper to basically demolish anything and everything that she comes across.
Put her in
and
any
it feels
level,
really fucking
snap
good.
it in half.
So what?
Put her in any level and she'll snap it in half.
Yep. Whisper is classified as a speed type character, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think we've saved her speed.
Yep. So she doesn't have a boost mechanic or anything like that, but she does have a double jump. I initially based some of her physics off of Adventure Sonic. She's got slightly different like acceleration, ever so slightly different compared to Sonic. She's also got a different jump height. Her basic jump height is much higher than pretty much any other character. But her double jump is pathetic. Her double jump is not meant to gain extra height. It does give you a little teeny extra bit of height, but it's mostly meant to sustain your airtime, is what it's meant to do. So that she's basically like a more of an adventure type Sonic rather than a boost type Sonic with swinging physics as well. One thing that's really nice that we integrate into her is if you do a basic homing attack on things, she does the thing that Gadget does, where she pulls out her grappling hook and launches herself towards it, rather than just doing a basic homing attack. So her homing attack is a little bit delayed, and she does home attack onto enemies. And Emmanuel made it so that her basic homing attack does not kill enemies, but I think I asked him to change that, and I think he just had never got around to doing it. Because her basic homing attack should be able to kill enemies, although I think it will kill enemies if it's like a single health enemy. So like, something like that there. No, it won't. Alright, I have to talk to Emmanuel about fixing that one, but...
There's the line, guys. He said it.
Yep. With Whisper's exploration mode, you come across enemies, you're not always going to want to swap to combat mode every time you go and come across enemies. So, you can shoot at enemies and stun them and deal a single tick of damage, whether that be with the hook shot or the grappling. You can grapple on enemies, it looks like. That's not supposed to happen. I will have to change that integration. I believe... Let's see here. Ideally, what will happen eventually is her hookshot is meant to tear enemy shields off. Yeah, the enemies who are hit by the hookshot have a very long stun duration. So even if they like walk up to you, they're not going to be killing you. They're not going to be like hitting you or anything. They'll walk up to you, but they'll be in a stunned state, so they can't hit you. So the whole point of the hook shot is mostly to just like micromanage enemies, not really deal damage to them. That's weird. Oh, there we go.
The enemy's
Well, that's new.
broken as hell.
All that's new. I've never seen that happen before.
Oh. We've got recorded footage. We'll be able to record that back and see
Just what happened.
we did.
But with enemies comes combat, and I don't think that we have any character more tricked out than Whisper. Whisper, like I said earlier, was based off of Gadget. Gadget's primary function in Frontier Forces was combat with Wispons. Now, unlike Gadget, who anytime you went into a level, you could only go in with a single type of Wispon, and then you had to like bring him back up with a different type of Wispon. Whisper in the comics has what's called the Omni Wispon. It's a specialized type of Wispon that can carry all the wisps. It can be adapted to any wisp.
Burst.
The note is that you're not meant to have that many as a Whisper. She's meant to have a hard cap of 6.
Yeah.
Just for testing, we've allowed
for
every...
testing and debugging purposes, we have increased her cap to 6, which you can, or I'm sorry, all of them, which you can do as well. The cap is adjustable. It's not hard-coded or anything like that. You can adjust the cap to whatever you want. But by default, it's going to be 6. And also, yes, we have programmed and created projectiles for every single wisp.
Ghost. Bomb.
So much fun.
Rhythm.
Prize.
Eagle. Rocket. Frenzy. Laser. Void. Lightning. Asteroid. Spikes. Hover.
It is cool
Drill.
having the
Cube. Burst.
visuals of this finished.
So you might be saying to yourself, that's a lot of wisps. I got a lot of wisps in my inventory. If I swap from combat mode to exploration mode, how will I know what wisp I have equipped? And you probably saw earlier that Whisper had a little burst wisp following around her. Whenever you swap from combat mode to exploration mode, whichever wisp you had previously equipped will pop out and follow Whisper around. And then whenever you swap back into combat mode,
Laser.
that last wisp is the one who will be the one that's currently equipped. Who's your VA? What?
Sonami.
Yeah, Saname. Saname is her VA currently.
Yep.
So if I had Pink Spike equipped previously, and I pop out, there'll be Pink Spike. And then whenever I equip it,
Spikes.
Spike goes back in.
Rocket.
Rocket. Rocket pops out.
Rocket.
Rocket goes back in. As you probably saw earlier, her colors will change depending on
Asteroid.
which wisp that you have equipped.
Rhythm. Burst. Cube. Cube.
Cube. The boy.
Cube. So, which wisp should we show off first? What should we show off first? We got a lot of wisps here.
Let's do the rainbow first.
The original colors wisps.
Laser.
Sure.
Ghost. Actually, I don't think we're gonna do Ghost first. Sorry, we'll not do Ghost first. Ghost is a little bit more one of those complicated ones. We could show any of the others.
What's the MG42?
What?
Laser.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a gun.
I figured that, Reese.
Did you? I was very confused for a second because you are over there in the land of the guns.
I knew it was a gun. I don't know what type of gun it is. Was my thing. So, do we want to see laser first,
Laser.
or do we want to
Laser.
see a? Say what?
Just do laser first because it's the simplest.
Yeah, laser is pretty simple. Target spotted. See here, if we can just get two of them close together. Damn it, they don't want to get close together.
No, they're spreading out, man. They know there's a sniper.
Yeah, they know there's a
Well, they're
sniper
going
nearby. Shit. Come on, get... Oh, a little more. A little more. No. There we go. Haha. So the Cyan Laser Wisp is meant to be the sniper rifle of Whisper's arsenal. And you probably saw a second ago, if you can get a group of enemies bunched up together, the laser projectile will bounce between targets automatically. I would shoot that one over there, but it'll probably recognize Charles as a target, and then it'll get stuck in Charles because Charles is a friendly.
Don't shoot the friendlies. Get the friendly tag out.
Yep. One thing you'll probably notice whenever I fire, the color of the wisp spawn will actually change. See here? And then it changes back. That is to indicate the firing cooldown of the wisp. So let's swap to Orange Rocket. Orange Rocket has a hefty cooldown. Also, the slowdown aim also applies to that combat mode as well.
Will beat 5.
So let's see here. You can see it turns black. I cannot fire, but then it turns orange. Bam. So the color of the wisp spawn, which you can see while in aim mode, indicates when you're capable of firing the wisp. So it's kind of a cooldown indicator for you.
Get some is it diegetic visual feedback?
Yep. Is it an AoE? Yes, Rocket has an AoE explosion. Rocket is an actual like rocket launcher with an AoE explosion. If we were to collide these enemies or collect these enemies up together. You can see it does a lot of damage right there. But Rocket also like consumes a lot of energy. Like a lot.
It's got the like least amount of ammo sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can imagine the rest.
You probably noticed right there, I fired it, and now I don't have a wisp at all. Oh, okay. Cyan Laser has completely left my arsenal because I ran out of energy for it. So, let's see here. Cyan Laser is a long-range sniper shot that will bounce between targets if they are within close enough range to each other, and it does a single tick of damage just because of it being the longest range weapon in the entire game. Like, it just has nearly infinite range, and the fact that it can bounce between I think up to 5 or 6 targets. It can bounce between a lot of targets, so it can deal a lot of like damage to a small group of enemies really quickly. Rocket is one of the slowest moving projectiles in the entire game, but it's also one of the heaviest hitting single target or like single burst target weapons in the game as well. Plus with its AoE explosion, it can deal a lot of AoE damage. So it's definitely one of those more situational skilled weapons where you want enemies close collected together so you can deal a lot of damage in a single shot rather than rapid firing it. On the flip side, there's Eagle. The only reason I'm breaking from the colors format and going to Eagle is because Eagle is something similar to Rocket, actually. Rocket fires a single large rocket with very, very limited homing capabilities that does a lot of damage and a huge explosion AoE. However, Eagle will do very minimal damage, is a much smaller projectile that homes in on targets. So even if I miss, it'll home in on that target right over there. And it has a very, very tiny explosion radius, so it's not going to be like blowing up a lot of targets all in one go. It also has like significantly more ammo. I can see Crimson Eagle being a very standard wisp in use when it comes to like mid-range. Eagle is a very, very much a mid-range kind of weapon. So is like Rocket. Rocket's a little bit more of a close to mid range, but if there's like a standard wisp that you give to players, I can see Crimson Eagle being one, as well as laser, and probably burst.
Burst.
Speaking of burst, back to the colors. Burn.
He has fun with this one. Speaks to something inside of him.
It's a flamethrower. It's the same thing as what Force's gadget had, you know, with the flamethrower. Only it deals like damage over time, as well as it being fire type damage. Let's go with Spike. Spike is one of those sleeper wisps where you only want to like use it in the perfect situation. Like you want to save Spike for the specific type of situation that you want, because Spike, unlike a lot of other wisps, Spike will just demolish health, like just within seconds.
Spike, more like mid-ike.
The only problem with Spike is it can't finish off a target. Like you can shoot a target all you want with 1 health, it won't kill them.
Never mind.
You get a target down to a single health. God damn it. I don't know why the collision wasn't working. Oh, that's right. I don't think she can. I don't know why she. Oh, she doesn't have a jump actor. That's why. She doesn't have a jump actor. She will have a jump actor. She'll be able to jump on targets. It's something she will be able to do. I forgot that's something we had to remove from her temporarily.
Yes.
Spike is a wisp that you want to use on like a single massive priority target. You want to get one target down to as low health as possible in a very quick amount of time. You use Spike. You can use Spike to deal pepper damage to like a bunch of targets over time. Like just spray and pray if you want. It'll be slightly less effective like that unless you're really good at aiming, in which case, you know, more power to you. But a Spike is a weapon that you use to knock an enemy's health down, like really, really quick. The main downside is it can't kill a target, and it also can't, like, it has a pretty like fast drain rate.
Just as a quick thing, people would be able to change it so it could kill, though, couldn't they?
Yeah, none of these are like hard set. If you want to change the properties, you can. They're like, there's nothing stopping you from changing the properties here. Yeah, I should give Shadow Guns next.
Yo, Emmanuel has threatened that on several occasions. I don't know. After Fizz is gone, he may do it.
So with Hover.
Hover is strange. And
I gotta increase the launch, or I gotta change the launch trajectory. It should delete itself here in a second. There we go. Hover's funny. You've seen this before. Hover is like Tails' balloon bomb. You kind of gotta lob it, unfortunately. Goodbye, Bozo.
The idea for that one was more like crowd control.
Yeah. Hover is definitely a little bit more of a crowd control kind of weapon. What the hell did it hit?
And yeah, the whole thing as well with it being able to lie down, like you shoot it, you can put it down, and then guide an enemy into it, sort of thing.
Yep. You can also do a couple of other things to like prep for it as well.
This game's power creep is insane.
Frenzy.
Let's do Frenzy. Frenzy is a very unique wisp in the fact that it's one of the few melee wisps in the game. So Frenzy, what you do is, unlike others where you simply just press and fire, you actually want to charge Frenzy and then release.
My god, it got big. I haven't never actually seen it get that big before.
Oh, it gets very big. I recently adjusted its like size change. So the thing about Frenzy is the longer you hold it, the wider its range is. It's kind of like a shotgun kind of weapon. It's very, very close range, but its range does increase the longer you hold it, as well as its power. But if you just simply just want to do like a quick little tap on an enemy, you can. Even a quick little tap does like 2 damage to a target. But if you want to hold, you can. And boop.
Get launched.
So Frenzy is a very interesting character in the fact that, as you probably saw a second ago, it ignores shields. Frenzy is a very fun one. It's not the most visually appealing one, but it's very fun.
It's technical as well. Like it's a very technical wisp.
Yep.
Void.
Actually, I'm gonna reset the game for this one.
Burst. Void.
Void is actually like Frenzy, where it's a close range wisp. It's not melee based, but it is close range. So what you're gonna want to do with Void is you're gonna want to suck targets in, and enemies that get sucked in will get stuck inside of it until you release, in which case they get launched. Enemies that are sucked in and launched enemies that are launched after getting sucked in turn into projectiles. That was not a good example because that guy blocked it. Damn.
Wow, Vitaly.
Didn't know she could suck like that. Whisper does have the most sucking power. She'll climb your tower in just an hour.
With that grappling power. Do
So,
not
yeah.
test her grappling power.
Cube.
We'll climb your tower.
Time for the worst wisp of all. No, I'm kidding.
If you don't ads, will Whisper aim her shot? Oh, wait, is that meant to say if you don't aim, will Whisper?
Aim her shot. The animation won't show it, but I believe the aim will still be the same. Like, I'll still, like, shoot upwards. Like, if I pull out laser. Oh, no. She just shoots forward, is what she does. So if you don't aim, Whisper will simply just shoot forward.
Yeah, I think it's meant to just be like a shoot forward thing. So if you're, like, running and gunning sort of thing.
Yeah. Which, with a Wisp, like, that is super close range, like Burst or Frenzy, you don't need to aim Frenzy. Because it's a short-range shotgun. Like, you're using it on targets that are right in front of you, not in the air. You could use it in mid-air targets, but it's not really what it's meant for. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. So you don't really need to aim it. In which case, you'll just shoot whatever's in front of you.
Yeah, so more of a run and gun.
Yep. So Cube is fun. I actually like Cube.
My god, he finally respects my boy.
At the very end, now that I leave, I'm like, Reese, I must tell you, I like Cube. Now, when we're done with Cube, we'll show Quake next, but I forget which one was which. Was Quake the setup, or was Quake the launch?
No, I think Cube was the launch.
Okay. So when you use Cube... Oh, nope, Cube's the setup. Oh, okay. When you use Cube, if you're using it in midair, you don't have to be in midair to use it, but if you use it in midair, you'll stop what you're doing, and when you hit the ground, an AoE will form around you that any enemies that are within will get launched up into the air. And what's really nice about that is... Ah, shit. Never mind.
Cube.
I'm dead. Swap to a different weapon. That guy was dead, so... Bonk.
Laser.
Trick shot.
Yep. So if you want to, like, confirm a shot on a specific type of enemy, you can use Cube to set them up.
Rockets.
Swap to their Wisp spawn, and there they go. So Cube does deal damage, and it does kill targets. And it's actually pretty good AoE, like circular around you kind of Wisp. But it's best used if you use it to set up a different combo. So it's the one of 2 Slam Wisps that we have. We have another Slam Wisp in the form of Quake. Now, Quake is not an AoE around you. Instead, it's an AoE cone in front of you. Enemies hit within the AoE cone in front of you, kind of like Reinhardt's Earthshatter if you know Overwatch. Enemies that are hit with a cone in front of you get launched forward. And they turn into projectiles. So if you launch an enemy into another enemy, they will deal damage to them. Let's see here. Can we line the shot up? Yep, there we go. You can see it hit the gun soldier right there. So this weapon is more so for if you want to get an enemy away from you. Like if you want to push an enemy away temporarily or get them out of the way, do something else, you know. That's what this is for. And similarly to like other launching things, if you launch an enemy into a wall, they will deal additional damage, as well as cause an explosion around them. So if you want to like finish a heavy enemy off, or you want to simply get an enemy out of the way while dealing some like good damage to them, or you want to like use the environment to your advantage, you can use Quake to launch them into a wall or other nearby enemies, which will deal extra damage not only to the person that you hit, or persons, because you can hit more than one person with this. You can see, you can use that to launch them. Enemies turning projectiles, unleashed reference. There's a lot of things that turn enemies into projectile in Infinity Plus.
Drill.
I think this is the last of the colors ones. And that is drill. Drill is one of the few ones that I actually kind of wanted to change, but I don't think I'm going to mess with it. Cha, thank you for the follow. Drill is interesting in the fact that it fires a massive drill that pierces through targets. Drill is also another wisp that will use the environment to its advantage. So if you shoot drill into like a wall or something like that and it gets stuck, over time it will start dealing like miniature AoE explosions. So as it digs into walls, it'll create like an AoE explosion around it that will deal damage to nearby enemies. It'll do it up to 3 times. So on top of the projectile piercing enemies being really large and dealing a decent amount of damage, it's a good environmental wisp to use, to like rely on the environment to deal like really high amounts of damage to like large groups of enemies. So I think that's all of the colors wisps, isn't it? All that's left are like the others.
Yeah, I think that was it for colors.
We have gone over quite a few of the Lost World ones. I think the main ones that are left are Asteroid as well as Bomb. Rhythm. So let's do Asteroid real quick.
Asteroid.
Asteroid is also a sort of environmental wisp, but it's more of a wisp that you use to level the playing field, if that makes sense. This is like a more of a tactical wisp that you use to like take control of the playing field. So you launch it out, and it kind of acts as a landmine that controls like a dedicated area. It has a set timer, but that timer will reset every single time it hits a new enemy, as well as every time it hits a new enemy, it will also grow. So we've got like 3 different targets here. If I were to pop this out, it's that target, grows, it's that target, grows. It's that target, grows. It's supposed to grow a 3rd time. Well, it did. It grew a little bit that 3rd time. So the more targets that are around it, the more targets that hit it, like new targets, the larger it will grow, which will allow it to hit more and more targets. It's definitely more of like an area denial kind of wisp. So let's go with Black Bomb next.
Bomb.
Black Bomb's fun, in which case, because it's just a bomb. Boop. There are a bunch of different firing types that Whisper has. 2 of which are trigger wisps, which require you to press the firing button a 2nd time after you've shot it out. Those 2 wisps are Black Bomb and Magenta Rhythm. You cannot fire a 2nd projectile until you press the button again to launch or to detonate the 1st projectile. So if I were to fire this, boop, I hit the button again, bam, it explodes. you can see the little red line. The red line is a general, like, effective range, meaning enemies that have the red line drawn between them and Black Bomb will get hit by Bomb's explosion.
It's pretty much a grenade launcher.
It is.
Halo Reach.
It's a trigger grenade launcher that, like, it's a grenade launcher whose projectiles you have to trigger.
Yep.
And then there is Rhythm. Rhythm is also a trigger wisp on, in which case, whenever you shoot it, if you press the button every single time it lands, it will deal damage as well as stun any nearby targets. If you fail to do it, it'll still work, but it's not as effective. But you can tell when it is supposed to, like, you can tell whenever you hit the button effectively because the sound effect changes. So if I were to, like, shoot up high, oh, my power skipped there. You can hear that high note versus that low note, or like that more advanced note. They getting down with it? Yeah. Enemies hit with Magenta Rhythm will get stunned. Their animations are kind of broken at the moment. If they, yeah, if they die, their animations will get fixed. Ouchie. Or if they get hit, their animations will get fixed. I'm not sure why. Second to last wisp.
Lightning.
Lightning. Lightning is kind of like Burst, but unlike Burst, which is good at, like, firing down, like, a specific area and dealing damage to that specific area, Lightning is a little bit more specific in the fact that lightning arcs between targets. You can't see it because we don't have the visual set up, but if you manage to land a hit on a target with lightning and you hold the button, you will see that any enemies within a certain range of lightning will get hit with an AoE attack, and then from there, more enemies can get hit with more AoE attacks. I think we set it up so that for every target that it arcs to, I think Cyan Laser drains energy faster. So, in an essence of range, Ivory Lightning has the higher effective range than Burst does. But when it comes to, like, damage or, like, drain efficiency, I think it's slightly worse. But the thing is like, because, like, the damage effectiveness per, like, range is higher with lightning, you can deal, like, more damage to targets across a wider range with lightning potentially than you could with burst. So it kind of offsets the drain rate. Wonder Waffle Fruit. I don't know what that means. Last one. This one is kind of a little bit buggy, but it does still technically work. Ghost will shoot out a single simple projectile that when it hits a target will make them friendly. You can see that guy is not focused on me at all anymore. So for a short amount of time, if you hit an enemy with Jade Ghost, they will become friendly. And they will attack other targets. It's meant to be temporary. And I'm pretty sure it is still temporary, but I have played COD Zombies. I played the original COD Zombies is a thing, but that was like a long ass time ago. Same. I really don't do Call of Duty. It's not my kind of thing.
No, I'm a Halo guy. Give me infection.
Infection. So, that is not all with Whisper's combat. The lightning was... I see. I know you might be saying, well, there's still fucking more, and yes, there is still more. We're gonna have a more proper, like,
Burst.
We're gonna have a more proper UI element for this still. Yet. We've not set it up yet, but it'll be there. You can see a tiny 100 up there, like on the top left. Every time I grab a white wisp, or anytime one of these enemies dies, and they drop like a little energy crystal thing, the number goes up again, so I'm at 175 now. That there is a reservoir. So you've probably seen, like, on the left side, there's the wisp energy circle, like, indicator over there, and obviously as I like consume wisp power, it goes down. So that obviously means that there's an ammo system with this. Now, with as many wisps as there are, we couldn't simply have a system where, in order to refill a wisp, you have to use, like, just that one type of wisp in order to refill the energy. So we came up with, or I came up with, a reservoir system. So if you're running low on energy, and there are no other wisps around, stuff like that, you can tap into your reservoir to refill wisp spawn energy. So white wisps, energy drops, as well as wisps that you have already collected, will dedicate the energy that you would have gotten from it to the energy reservoir. So I've got red wisp right now, and if I grabbed another red wisp, my reservoir went up by 100 points. But let's say I have used some of red wisp here. Used probably about half of it. I know it doesn't look like half, but that's roughly half. And then I grab a red wisp. My energy is back. Like, I've consumed all my energy back. If I like swap and swap back, you can see I've got all my wisp energy back. However, I didn't use 100 energy for that wisp. If you grab an actual wisp container, that is worth 100 energy. If you grab a white wisp container, that is worth 100 energy. However, having a little bit of wisp energy, or like having lost a little bit of wisp ammo and then grabbing a wisp container, that's a lot of lost energy. So what it does is the wisp energy that you get will refill your wisp. So if I used up 50 energy and I grab a wisp capsule, I will get that 50 energy back, but then the leftover 50 will go into my reservoir. I had around 280 reservoir energy, now I have 320. Versus earlier, whenever I grabbed it, I went up by 100 points. This time, I went up by around 40 points. Same thing goes for the white wisps. Like, a white wisp is more of like an omni energy versus the others are more of a specific energy. So if I use some of this here, and then I grab a white wisp, I completely fill myself up, but then the leftover energy gets sent up to my reservoir. So let's say you completely use up all of the energy of your wisp. You'll see that it is no longer inside of your wheel here. But if you grab the wisp, it's now part of your energy again. Like, it's now part of your inventory again. So what will end up happening is, let me see here. I want to see if I can modify this real quick. Update wisp on. Oh, that's just materials. References. I don't think this is what I want. I think this here is what I want. No, it is not. This is what I want. So let's see here. Capsule. So this here is our list of all the wisps that you can have. Obviously, we have a total of 16 wisps. The default's gonna end up being like 6, so let's just close that. Where is the wisp max? Collected wisp index. Ah, here it is. So there's 6. That means we can only have up to 6 wisps. Let's dump all these as well. I think that's everything.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
My internet had a moment, I guess.
Yeah. So we grab a wisp. So let's grab cyan laser. Cyan laser is now on the list. Grab burst.
Laser. Burst.
Let's grab lightning. So now we have 3.
Laser.
And if we try and grab a second laser, nothing's gonna happen.
Laser.
Let's grab hover, and then we'll go ahead and do cube. So now we got 5 wisps.
Laser.
So if we grab the 6th wisp, let's just make that black bomb. We now have 6 wisps that we can select from.
Bomb.
So what happens if I collect a 7th wisp, a completely different one that isn't in my list? Well, the first wisp we collected was cyan laser.
Bomb.
So let's say we collect frenzy. Looks like the one that I had selected is the one that gets replaced. So what it will happen is if you want to replace a specific wisp in your inventory, you have to have that wisp selected whenever you grab a new wisp. So now that is being spike.
Lightning.
So if I didn't want lightning anymore, I wanted eagle, I would have to select lightning.
Eagle.
That is not correct. Why is that not working?
Eagle.
Ideally, what would happen is the wisp that you have selected is the one that will get swapped. That way you can pick and choose which wisp that you want to get rid of. Is the idea. But yeah, essentially one of your wisps will get replaced. I think currently what it does now is it replaces the last wisp in the list, like the one that is the very last wisp that you have in your list, which was Black Bomb. So Black Bomb was the last one on my list.
Asteroid.
Now, Asteroid is the last one on my list and stuff like that. I think that's what's currently happening right now. But what will eventually happen is it will swap the wisp that you have selected. That way you can choose which wisp you want to get rid of in your inventory, rather than it just being specifically the last wisp in your inventory.
Burst.
That way it's a little bit more of a little more tactical kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that is Whisper. That's Whisper.
Burst.
Let's go.
Laser.
I know you guys have noticed the little wisp hanging around Whisper whenever she's in exploration mode. How she follows around, like how the wisp follows around Whisper whenever she runs and stuff like that. Yeah, we made Chow follower code.
That was my doing.
Yeah. This code was originally made for cream, for like cream and cheese. It wasn't super good at the time, but it was functional. We intended on having that code be used for a potential Chow follower. So that way you guys could like have Chow followers. This code can still be used for that. We have since updated and altered the like code so it's a lot more like up to date, flows a lot better. But these wisps use a Chow follower code that you guys can use for actual Chow if you want. They will accelerate with you, they will decelerate, they will attempt to like catch up with you whenever you like start moving at high speed. Whenever you slow down, they slow down with you. They'll like rotate dynamically around you rather than simply just snapping to a certain spot. They also look in the direction that they are flying in. So if I were to like look this way, you can see that like cyan laser is like rotating in the direction that it's flying, rather than simply just being statically looking in one direction. So the wisps are so good. Chow Garden I+ is real, I swear. We didn't want to do a Chow Garden, but we did want to do Chow followers, is the thing.
I had found some stuff on how to do little small followers, and cream and cheese were just sitting there in the folders. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a cheese here and I'm gonna make it a small little follower. And then I made the code one day. Fizz got on. He's like, "Why'd you do this? Why is it? I think you said as well, like, why is it so fun?"
Why is it so fun? It is fun. I love watching like the little like particle fly around.
And
then
then
like little stream to it.
Later on, we're working on Whisper, and we got to that stage which we mentioned earlier, where we didn't know what wisp you would have when you switched to exploration. And I was like, "Yo, guys, I have this old code lying around. Maybe we could use this."
I thought I just woke up one day and you added it. I don't remember you asking me. I'm pretty sure you added it because you knew I was going to approve it, like the moment you mentioned it. Because I don't remember you asking for permission.
Wisp?
Yeah, for the wisp.
I might have talked to Emmanuel then.
I just probably talking to Emmanuel because I don't remember approving it.
Yeah.
But so, it works.
Yeah, woke up one day and Fizz was like, "God damn it, guys, why do you keep doing this? You're fired."
So what's really nice about the wisps is whenever you're in an aiming mode, the last thing you want is some annoying little piece of shit getting in the way. So they actually disappear whenever you're in aiming mode, and then they reappear when you leave aiming mode. So if I'm like moving around and stuff like that, even though he was in front of me, you can see he like disappears.
Yeah, oh god, 2 ads. Damn, dude, getting Candy Crush ads.
Damn.
And now a PlayStation ad.
Plus Peckner. So another nice thing is if you get too far away from the wisp, they will teleport above you and behind you and fly in. So whenever I walked through this ring, the wisp didn't follow me through it and stuff like that. The wisp simply said, "Oh, I'm really, really far away from you. Let me just teleport to you." So if you manage to get really far away from your follower, the follower code has instructions to teleport back to the player once they reach a certain distance away from you.
It's canon now. Wisps can teleport. Everything's canon.
Whisper looks really fun. Thank you. I worked really hard on Whisper. Like a lot of us did a lot of stuff on Whisper. So what?
We spent about 3 years on it.
Like passively, we spent like 2 years on it, and then the past year I spent pretty much most of last year working on her. And the 2 years before that, we passively like did a couple of things here and there with her, mostly with model and visual stuff.
Yeah. I like sometimes when you stand still, depending on the way that you've done it, how the wisp kind of orbits for a little bit.
Yeah, the wisp will kind of just like hover around a little bit whenever you're idle.
I know it's like slightly off topic, but you could show the Chow. It's on the Amy blueprint at the moment. Yeah. So it should just spawn in with Amy.
Let's try Amy then.
I think you have... Oh, yeah. Okay. I was about to say, because I think you have to actually spawn as her. I don't know if it works if you swap.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
This is like an earlier version of the code, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the earlier version. You can see how sporadic they're moving.
Yeah, they're moving like really sporadically. This is an old version of the follower code. It's not like as precise or as like accurate or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't have the jump ball. She can't.
All this
she can't jump.
Would fit well with Blaze. Yeah, she can't jump because she doesn't have a landing animation. She's not a finished character. It was just a mess around with the Chow code to see if it could work with other characters, which it did. But obviously there's a better follower now, so it can be updated. Literally, it'll just be a mesh swap at the end of the day.
Yep, and if you don't have any wisps on you at all, nothing will pop out. meaning you won't have a follower. Technically, I think there is a follower. Like Whisper has a follower spawned in at all times. It just doesn't have a mesh assigned to it, so it's just empty. If you're in oh, yep, and then whenever you first grab a wisp, even if you're in project like
Laser.
If you're in exploration mode, the wisp tries to like fly into you. Because if you swap between projectile and exploration mode, the wisp will fly into you. And technically, when you're in exploration mode, the follower code actually turns off for optimization reasons. Like, it's actually teleported to you and it's stuck to you. It's not following you anymore. So whenever you like move around, if I were to swap out of exploration mode, you'll see that the wisp pops out. Because it detaches from the player, its visual turns back on, and it starts the follower code again. Waiting for the secret Professor Pickle overhaul reveal.
I mean, could still happen. Plus pack voted community. Let's go, Professor Pickle. What was I about to say though? Oh yeah, it was about that follower code stuff. So yeah, essentially with that follower code, you could just use it for anything.
Yep.
So it could be Chow, the wisps, or any other like small little floating thing. You could do a flicky. You could have a flicky following around.
Coco.
Chip. Coco, flying Coco.
Didn't we originally come up with like a follower system for Super Tails, like the flicking army?
Yes. It was very rudimentary when we first did it, but I think it got updated to this new follower. I think Emmanuel changed the actors so there's this new follower so they can actually like move around and home in on targets and stuff. So that was the origins of the follower system, I believe, and then I just was like, yo, I'm gonna make a Chow follower one day.
Yeah. People kept bugging us for like a Chow Garden. I think you made a Chow Garden, didn't you? Like in a separate build or something like that?
In a separate project on my like old computer or something, I think. I had the files for a very rudimentary Chow Garden I was working on. I didn't go too far with it though. I was just seeing what I could like mimic or recreate. But that would be way too much resource. And I was just like, yeah, I've got better things to do at the moment.
Yep. So that's Whisper.
That is the Whipper.
I worked almost exclusively on Whisper all year. Like, that is primarily what I did. I did other things too. I did a lot of code cleaning. I did some reorganization. I cleaned out a bunch of old assets that we're not using anymore. Reorganized some of the folders a little bit. And I think I helped with some systems here and there. I think I included, like, worked on a couple of minor systems here and there. But a vast majority of what I did this year was Whisper. And a lot of her base code was done by me. Emmanuel went in and reworked some of it for like some of the more intricate stuff. I didn't prototype the swinging code, but I did prototype the hookshot code, and I prototyped the aiming code as well as the firing code. I created all of the projectiles that you see, like all the Wisp-on projectiles. I created all of those. I think you worked on her animation blueprint, though. Yes. I didn't do any of the animation work. That was all Jay Ninja, and Reese is the one that set up the animation blueprint, as well as the different animation states and stuff like that.
Yes.
I did work on some of her like actual assets in the engine. Like, I had to like create some blend spaces and stuff like that. But yeah, this is Whisper. This is what we've been working on for a whole year. I know you said earlier that this would be a nightmare to design levels for. The idea of Whisper was to give you like a large set of options and then narrow down what type of options you want to use. Do you want to go with a purely exploration Whisper? Do you want to go with a pure combat Whisper? Do you want to go with like a mix and match, like some combat, some exploration, some platforming? Do you want to focus entirely on her grapple, or do you want to do like a Metroidvania kind of thing where you're you can collect different type of wisps the further along inside of a level you get, and things like that, and the different wisps will open up different parts. Because the wisp on projectiles do interact with wisp objects. Not perfectly, but they do interact with them. No, Whisper does not work in 2D at the moment. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out how I wanted to get Whisper to work in 2D. I don't know if we will get her working in 2D. I'll mention it to Emmanuel what I want done, but whether or not that actually works or not, I don't know. My idea is actually based off of Metroid Dread, where you can shoot forward if you don't hold any if you don't hold any directions, Whisper will shoot forward or she will grapple forward. But if you hold the aim button, she'll go into a 360-degree aiming state that you can like then aim up and down, like by like moving the mouse or like the analog stick around. She would be able to like aim dynamically, kind of like how Samus does in Metroid Dread, if you've ever played that. Dread has one of the best 2D aiming systems ever, just period. Just in any 2D platforming, it has some of the best aiming systems, like manual aiming systems. But at the moment, no, Whisper does not work in 2D sections. It's probably the big thing that is like a failure of hers. Or like a downside. Not really a failure, but... I like hopping into the cannon and then watching the Wisp like follow.
1 second.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about Whisper?
What's her favorite food?
Your mother.
Wow.
She's a wolf. She eats people.
Wow, that's speciesist. All wolves do not eat people. Some of them eat rabbits.
Man, he'll be sentenced to the gulag one day. I don't know if Whisper will be 2D playable when we release. I'll talk to Emmanuel, tell him what I want done. But once we release this next update, he's technically allowed to just do whatever the hell he wants. Because I won't be the boss of him anymore. Personally, out of Whisper's arsenal, even though the wisp on stuff, firing wisps into combat stuff, that's the most dynamic and complicated part of Whisper's gameplay loop. But personally, I kind of like exploration mode a little more. Not because it's more simple, but because I'm always more of a platformer than I am a shooter kind of person. So, using the hook shot and the grappling hook to get where you want to go, and like breaking level design and stuff like that, it's really fun. Obviously, Whisper would break any normal conventional Sonic stage. Like if you built a regular Sonic stage and put Whisper into it, I don't think it would work very well. You would have to build like a stage specifically for Whisper. But I think you could build a stage specifically for Whisper and it still have like the essence of a Sonic the Hedgehog level. Swapping back and forth between these two to like do what you need to do and get where you need to go is super fun. I love it. Also, Whisper has the longest homing attack range of any Sonic character. She can home attack from a much further range than anybody else. I want to say it's by like a factor of 1,000 units, I want to say. I could be wrong. But she has the longest homing attack range of any speed character. Mostly just due to the fact that that needed to be done for her grappling hook. Like, to effectively use these grappling hook things, she needed to have, like, a really wide or really long homing attack range. But her actual, like, grapple range is much longer than the homing attack range is. I guess we could show... Well, I would show Planet Wisp, but I would have to, like, compile the level, and that would take forever.
Nah.
Alright, does anyone have any questions or stuff like that? Anything they want to ask? It's a little late in the development cycle for Whisper to be, like, adding or, like, doing anything new with Whisper. Minor changes here and there we could probably do, but...
Could you maybe completely redesign Whisper? I didn't like any of it.
Well, your mom.
Get better material.
No.
You always say the same thing.
My question is egg. That's a fair question. Egg, indeed.
Egg.
Egg.
Are we gonna add the Council of Chaos?
Council of Chaos.
We'll add I forget the dude with the blue mustache who's like samurai stuff. We'll add him in with his samurai mech.
Dr.
Or
Deep.
the baby. Oh,
Dr. Deep, yeah.
Uh,
There is some type of problem where if you, like, try to, like, grapple right before you land, she, like, her gravity turns off for some reason. Or not turns off, it, like, lowers for some reason. Whisper's got some bugs. We've taken a lot of strides to, like, squash a lot of the bugs. But there are still some that are lingering around, and she will not be perfect on release. That's just not going to happen. Is Pickle still in the project files? He actually is. Professor Pickle is still in the project files.
He'll never be removed, man. He just lives there now.
Yeah.
He doesn't pay rent. It's kind of bad, not gonna lie.
He's a squatter.
Yeah, he's squatting in the file somewhere. That's just a shame I could never get a Professor Pickle who was rigged. Because if he had a rig, I would have, hands down, for one of the April Fool's updates, made Professor Pickle playable. Yeah, and every time you press a button, he always just makes that sound. No matter what you did. Just, oh! But, alas, I couldn't find a rigged Professor Pickle model online. I know I could have just ripped it out of Unleash myself, but to be honest, I could not be bothered doing the whole, like, getting the files and stuff, so, yeah, no rigged Professor Pickle, very sad.
No.
He'll be T-posing forever. I want to make a Pickle fan game. That sounds like the best Sonic fan game ever, and needs to be more British. Now, what if Fizz? If I ever do my fan game, I have a British mode.
British mode.
An unlockable British mode where everybody's replaced with British voice actors and they're all like proper Northerners.
Aye, bro.
Hey, Knuckles, bruv, you want to have some meat, mate?
Oh, you want to go, bro? Oh, you get a problem with me?
You gonna go, bro?
Super Whisper is not a thing.
Damn.
Sorry.
Super Whisper.
Whisper does not have a super form.
Wisp.
Super Whisper. I would imagine Super Whisper would, like, have accelerated swinging physics as well as, like, infinite swings. She wouldn't, like, have a swing cap.
infinite swings, time to wreck the level.
In an instant.
I actually remember there's somebody on YouTube who does British Sonic. I
Mhm.
forgot about that. Oh, I need to watch some of those clips again. Because I think he makes everybody British. It's great what he did to Knuckles.
You remember Pogo Whisper?
Oh yes. Pogo Whisper was top tier level breaker.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that fixed. There was this bug where, like, every time you did a hook shot, you could like jump and launch yourself. If you hook shot upwards, Whisper will launch yourself upwards. Oh, god damn it.
Kind of wasn't a bug, it was just more of an oversight, really.
Yeah. So if you jump out of a hook shot, you will retain your momentum, especially if you're like going horizontal. But if you're going upward, god damn it, I hate when that shit happens. You will launch yourself upward. Same thing with a grappling hook. Although I would not suggest jumping out of a grapple. You can, but it's more effective to just like let go.
Oh, he's done frontier clips now.
But there was this bug that was going on where if you like grapple hooked straight down and then jumped, you would launch upward. So you could just like perpetually shoot yourself up into the air with the grappling hook. Or like with the hook shot. It was pretty fun. I hope that Whisper has been worth the wait, I'm not gonna lie. I know we've been hyping up Whisper for a long time. But I hope that this was worth the wait. I personally put a lot of work into it. And Manuel has done a lot of work in it, and so has Reese and the J Ninja, obviously having done all the animation. Jay's been wonderful to work with. Jay's such a nice guy.
Oh. And this is a visual representation of what a lot of the spare time has been with the project.
Yeah, just swinging around with Whisper.
This would not be a thing. I'm saying this as a joke, but just make a grapple mode for every single character.
No.
Why? I said it was a joke. You didn't have to say no. You could.
Because your mom.
I'm just imagining what boost with grapple would be like. Like boosting as you're swinging, and then being able, like, to jump out of it, sort of thing, and just properly launch yourself like a ballista.
That would be terrible. I mean, it'd be cool, but it'd be terrible.
No. I mean, I know. Like, I'm just thinking in my head as a funny thing, but like, you grapple the ground as Sonic sort of thing, and then you start running around in a circle while boosting, causing a huge tornado.
I think you can grapple the ground. Or like pull yourself around.
Yeah. Like, just imagine that with Sonic, but you're boosting, so you're going around in a circle, and it just causes like a huge tornado sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. My mind is like, yo, grapple. Just add grapple to anybody.
You can kind of grapple the ground and like minimize how much speed you lose.
Break maneuver. You're about to run off the edge of like a platform or something. Grapple the ground and save you.
Shit.
Pencils.
Boost swing. Why are you shooting the ground for?
Pendulum.
That's a pretty quick way to like around corners.
Mm. It is pretty neat, that.
Never tried that before.
You can sometimes get some height out of it too, so you could like put a platform higher up around the edge of the corner, sort of thing.
Yep, that'd be pretty cool,
Yeah,
actually.
like-
I never tried that before.
Now, what would you know what? No, screw it. We're not adding guns to Shadow, we're adding grapple.
We're gonna add grapple to Sonic.
Add a grapple
We're gonna
to
give
Shadow.
Big the cat a grapple.
Oh, yo, his fishing rod, man. He's got a grapple and hook built in.
Ow. Bonk.
Big bonk.
Shit. Sonic Omens reference. Okay, yeah, so it was supposed to kill, like, single health targets. Whee. I'm excited to see what people do with Whisper. I think people could make some really cool shit with Whisper.
God, my internet is having a moment tonight. Just every now and then it decides to die.
Oh! Let's see here. I don't think there's anything else we really want to go over with her. She is supposed to have unique UI elements. Like, she's got like a boost energy thing down there. What we was going to actually originally do
Laser.
is have, like, not actually have this little radial wheel that you see for wisps. We weren't gonna do that. What we were actually gonna do is have like a unique boost wheel,
Laser.
like a unique boost meter that would like change colors and stuff like that. Which if Reese wants to do, you can still add it, you know, and improve it later. And if we were to like have that unique boost UI element, that's where we would put the swing charges. Yep. I think Reese's internet has probably died. What?
No, I'm alive, sorry. But I mean, I'm gonna try and get the UI in because there's important stuff that needs to be portrayed with UI.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it the good old college try.
I'm gonna give her an LMG and never touch it again. I assume that's a gun.
Yes, light machine gun.
Ah.
I like it how I know this more and I'm British.
I don't know guns, okay? Okay. Guns are bad, okay.
You know what, I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to go there.
Guns are bad, okay.
Good. Now, I can tell you the difference between different types of knives.
Oh, this is a knife.
That's more my repertoire.
Oh, you've played Knifey Spoony before.
Before, you got a butter knife, you got a dinner knife, you got a steak knife. That one's pretty useful. You got a butcher's knife.
Bonk. Yeah, you could just simply alter the properties of pink wisp.
Add a scope.
Laser.
Add a scope to a knife, and then you got some long-range knife capabilities.
Viv saying something offensive, and it'd be such a funny prank. Just a prank, bro.
It's just a social experiment.
Just a funny.
Yo, Fizz, your account got banned and everything. It was just a prank, dude.
It's just a prank. Just a prank.
Social experiment. Hello, Willow. Got the Eggman music from Adventure stuck in my head now.
Nope. I know. Didn't someone else add like a playable Whisper to their fan game?
You got me thinking that.
I know.
think I
Actually, no.
remember-
She's in SRB 2.
Yeah, that was it. We had a playthrough with being
Yeah.
using that. I still have that clip of when he absolutely just lost all. I don't know, like he just went insane after the freaking Mega Man puzzle bit. That broke him. And then me and you just fly away with our flyable characters.
Yep.
You see, we went into that with the benefit of hindsight. We knew what absolute torture was in store for us. Poor Ben, though. No, we left him. We left him as Sonic.
Yep. All right.
Oh. That is a whisper.
Yep. A lot of people are adding Whisper to some of their games since Sonic Forces Speed Battle and are easily rippable now. Yeah. I remember we finished like most of the touches that we wanted to do with Whisper. I think this model, you wanted to like do some material work on it, didn't you? Still.
I was learning Substance Painter, and I found a YouTuber who's doing tutorials on Substance Painter. And I was really wanting to try and like make the materials of Whisper a little bit more advanced, because right now they're all just flat colors and it looks kind of meh. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that beforehand.
Yeah. But we did most of everything we wanted to do with Whisper. With her model and stuff. And then
There's Jay.
And then Whisper was added into Forces Speed Battle. Like an official Whisper model, like Whisper model became a thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, you cried a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, it's a mobile model though.
Yeah, we would have had to like done a lot of work to update it and change it. But I think our custom model looks really good, personally.
It took me a long time.
How's it going, Jay? I've just been marveling the work you've done with Whipper.
Ooh, and like I said, there's still bits about it I'm not happy with. But oh well.
Oh well.
I think that's just the artist eye anyway. Hello, Jay, and hello, Michael. You join at the very end.
Yeah, we've gone over most of everything.
And now it's just Fizz having fun.
Because it's fun.
You're not allowed to have fun.
I was trying to access... Oh, I see. At the tail end. Oh, I see. How's it going, Void? Oh, god damn it. I hate when that happens.
Zero gravity whisper.
Yep. But Jay already knows everything there is about Whisper. Jay has helped us out tremendously with these animations. I think they're great.
Indeed. Jay is a top tier animator for us.
Yep. Has there been work on any other character other than Whisper? I think there was work done on Sonic this year.
There's been
And Knuckles.
As well.
Knuckles' climbing work was adjusted. Some of his combat was also adjusted. Mostly just like improvements and minor updates, like quality of life stuff.
I mean, to be honest, at the beginning of the year, every character has been worked on a bit since the last update.
Just a tiny bit. I know we worked on Silver a little bit as well.
Silver had quite a bit done to him at the beginning of the year. But no, it's mainly been focused on Whisper. It's been a Whisper year.
Laser. Laser.
No.
Eagle.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Drill.
Actually, you know.
Hover.
Bonk.
Rockets.
Ah, damn, they just barely missed. Shit.
Eagle.
Wow. Terrible. Terrible
So
shot.
Amy seems unfinished. We're not working on Amy. Everything that Amy has right now is just like
Hover.
Me.
temporary, like placeholder testing shit.
Yeah, just me messing around.
God damn it, I hate when that shit happens. Bonk.
Rockets.
Laser.
Laser.
Oh, damn.
Say what?
My, that's just my cat.
Oh. I thought you said D&D.
Oh, no, it's a DME.
Oh.
Drill.
D&D? Where? Where?
Huh?
Come on. There's no room for you. Ooh.
There we
What
go.
have you done? Broke my computer. Great, thanks.
Yep. Number computer.
Eagle.
I just love the ability that pets have to do one thing on your keyboard and then it absolutely demolishes your computer. They somehow manage to press the one button that just like ruins
Rockets.
your day.
Yep. That's just how it is.
Hover. Rockets.
They studied well.
Bonk.
Rockets. Spikes.
Not the one I wanted to swap to.
Hey, it's just
Spikes.
showcase time now, eh?
Laser.
Bonk. There we go. Trick shot.
Hover.
Walrus chops.
What?
Walrus chops.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
An insult towards Eggman.
Oh.
Oh my god, that last line is gold.
Alright, did anyone have any last minute questions for Whisper? I don't know how much more like Whisper will be done before we release in February. Well, actually, it'll be at the very end of January. Ugh. I will be uploading this to YouTube, so you'll be able to like catch the whole thing. All the characters do have skydiving animations. The build that's currently out right now might not have them assigned to those, was the problem. Like they weren't properly assigned. Whisper's got some skydive animations.
Yeah, thanks to the J Ninja.
How does the addition of Whisper affect Blaze? Alright, do we have any actual, like, questions about Whisper specifically? Which is the original question I asked.
Whisper's canon now.
Whisper is canon. That's the only thing about Sonic Frontiers I care about.
Yeah, same. You know what this means though? This means
What?
that Mecha Sonic was back recently as well, and that makes me super happy.
That's true. Oh, technically our hammer animation is implemented.
Hover.
I'm gonna go grab a cube. What do you mean trails? Damn it.
Hover. Frenzy. Cube.
Oh, it's really find it so
Cube.
British Sonic.
So yeah, she has her slam animation. Spin dash trails. Okay, again, whisper related. I do not understand how I can make that any more clear. Yeah, we went forward with them. They don't come out very well just due to like the quick transition of animations, but we tried getting them set up as good as we could.
I need to make it so the Wispin puts the hammer mode on too.
Yeah. I have to change like the shape key or whatever it is that the Wisp one uses.
Yeah.
I think part of the thing is the Wispon itself doesn't properly line up with the animation, but that's just due to how we have the Wispon attached to the model. Even though the animation plays exactly how it's supposed to, the Wispon itself may not properly line up. Yeah, it's not the animation's fault, it's just how we have the Wispon set up. I don't know how easily it would be to fix that, but
Quintessentially British TikTok.
British.
British.
Oh yeah, there was the code related to like rotating platforms. Or like moving platforms.
Yeah,
That's something I had to like fix properly.
I think that reintroduced the shrinking bug though, didn't it?
Not that I could tell. Who voices Whisper? Saname does. No, there's no shrinking bug. There shouldn't be a shrinking bug, because of like the thing that I introduced to fix that very specific thing. Yeah. Not that I can tell. Because it, like, the problem with the shrinking bug is the fact that it was...
Oh my god.
Damn it. I think mouse 1 or 2 don't work properly. Level streaming crashing. Unreal 4. Oof. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, like, part of what was causing the shrinking and growing bug was the fact that, like, anytime... For some reason, like, there is this code running that tries to attach the player to certain pieces of ground. Like, to certain objects. It wants to attach players to objects if it can find... It could have found an object to attach itself to. The sole reason, like, the sole purpose of that code is for moving platforms like this. Like, that is the sole purpose of the code, is to, like, attach yourself to a moving platform. That's the main reason. But the thing is like, it wasn't being updated to get rid of the reference, so if you stepped on something and it found a valid object to attach yourself to, you would inherit, like, the transform of that object, because that's what you needed to do in order to, like, attach yourself to it. But then whenever you would leave, a loading volume and that object no longer exists, even though you're still technically attached to it, it would then reset your transform, is what it would do. But I have code in place now that constantly checks if you're not, like, attached to something. Whenever you first land, it'll check if what you land on is something you can attach to. And then as long as you're attached to something, it'll run and say, like, hey, am I still attached to something? It'll check, I think, like, every 2 or 3 ticks instead of every tick. Like, it runs on a separate timer that's slower than tick rate, but still fast enough to, like, feasibly check at a rate that you would, like, reasonably need to. And then as soon as you're unattached from it, it says, oh, I'm not, like, that object is no longer below me. I'm going to detach from it so I don't, like, retain the properties. It does work for these things here. The main problem is the snapping code doesn't work well with them, so it doesn't get proper rotation issue, or, like, rotation data. But things will properly work with items that, like, rotate or move in the world. You'll properly attach to them now. And the game won't freak out if you leave a level streaming volume. Boing, boing, boing. So yeah, I hope that we've done enough with Whisper to make her like a viable character to play in, like, in a Sonic game. Give her something unique specifically to her and elaborate on the ideas that were introduced in Sonic Forces. That was my original goal with Whisper, was to, like, expand on the ideas that Sonic Forces introduced with wisp-ons as well as grappling hooks into like an actual proper Sonic character, like with more advanced and dynamic combat that can change on the fly as you're moving, as well as like proper grappling hook functionality that can either be streamlined through the grapple pylons or be used freely or restricted to specific materials in the world and stuff like that. Essentially, I wanted to do everything that Sonic Forces did, but better and good. With, like, Gadget. Personally, I think we did great. I don't think there's much else that I want to do with Whisper. And Whisper is one of the big things that I wanted to add it a long time ago. Long before we added Knuckles or Tails or Blaze, Metal Sonic, or Silver. Long before we added any of those characters, I wanted to add Whisper. But then as we were working on, like, the other characters, I realized, oh, right, if I want to add Whisper, I'm going to have to add wisps. Because wisps are required for Whisper to, like, function based on, like, my concept of what I want Whisper to do. So I had to add wisps first. And that was literally an update all on its own. Just all of the wisps. The Colorful Combat update had all the wisps in it. And then we challenged ourselves with the idea of combat. Combat was also something that we wanted to add, simply to challenge ourselves more than anything else. I wanted to add wisps because not a whole lot of, like, modern day frameworks were using wisps. Mostly because of this stupidly unfair bias against wisps. Like, if you don't like wisps, that's fine, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like a lot of people's opinions on wisps aren't, like, super biased. I think wisps have, like, a lot of potential, and I think that we've shown off a lot of the potential that you could actually have if you just fixed a lot of the core issues that people had with the wisps. But we needed wisps in order to make Whisper good, or not good, like, ideal to what we wanted. So that's kind of like the process that we ended up taking through the history of Infinity Plus. We added Whisper and Metal Sonic first, but that's just because Whisper and Metal Sonic were clones of Sonic. Like, they were Sonic clones, was the thing. Yeah, Blaze and Metal Sonic. We added Blaze and Metal Sonic, but purely because they were clones. So, like, that's the main reason we did that.
Rockets.
I think people believe they're overused, but in reality, they were only used in 2 games. They were used in Colors, and they were used in Lost World. I think they were also used in TSR, as well as Forces. I forgot about Forces. I think the only 2 games to actually use Wisps effectively were Colors and TSR. And TSR only used them as, like, basic cart weapon items, which I think was a great idea. I thought that was really good. One thing I always hated about fucking, like, All-Stars was just the generic-ass items in All-Stars. I always hated all the items in All-Stars.
Yeah, same.
It's like, oh, here's a firework. You can throw a snowball. Here's a baseball glove. Well, Mario Kart has, like, items based off of the history of the franchise and how each item is, like, integrated with, like how the item functions is integrated with its aesthetic and stuff like that. Like Mario Kart has cool as fuck items, and I was always disappointed with the items in fucking the Sega All-Star series. But then TSR came around and they decided to utilize Wisps, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. I think Wisps make for great card items.
It's such a shame they didn't keep up with TSR, to be honest. Like, giving updates and stuff to it.
Mm-hmm. TSR needed to be a continuously updated game. Doesn't Whisper whisper as she speaks in the IDWs? Yeah, she does whisper when she speaks. I don't know if we'll get all of Whisper's voice lines in. Like, I'm probably gonna try and get a hold of Soname and see if I can have her just, like, record a bunch of, like, generic required voice lines to use. And she will be whispering in that case. Like, she'll be talking quietly. It'll still be loud enough to hear, but the whisper will be, like, she'll be talking in a more of, like, in a whisper inflection. You can mainly hear these.
Eagle. Drill.
Because these voice lines are more, like, aesthetic things. Like, they serve more of a purpose.
Rockets.
I mean, it's what you call it.
They serve like a diegetic function, is what it is. Like, they actually serve like a function, is the thing. So
in world, she's yelling out for the Wisp to get in the gun.
Yeah.
Weird as that sounds out loud. Get in the gun.
Like, she's calling on the Wisp that she's going to be using, which doesn't work as well if you're whispering, is the problem. But if I can get Soname to do more voice work, then a lot of hers will be a lot softer, a lot more quieter. We have a very strange, like, development history. I wanted to add Whisper a long time ago, but then fucking you guys added Blaze and Metal Sonic, which I didn't have a problem with. But then I realized shortly after you added Blaze and Metal Sonic that if I wanted to do Whisper, I was gonna have to add Wisps. Like, I actually had to, like, add Wisps to the framework, which I wasn't against doing. I liked Wisps.
The thing was, I had them in my private build beforehand. I say them, I had, like, what, 2 or 3, and it didn't really work very well at all. But I was the one who originally had it. But then we left it for a while, and then came back to it, yeah, when doing Whisper.
Yeah. But then after we did Blaze and Metal Sonic, someone in the community mentioned adding Tails and Knuckles. And then I shat myself, because I'm like, shit. You can't have a 3D, like, Sonic framework without Tails and Knuckles. I mean, you can. I don't think Dash Engine has Tails or Knuckles.
We were the first ones to have Tails and Knuckles in a 3D framework, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I guess Bumper Engine didn't have it either.
They didn't have it, and it was, like, shortly after we released the update. There was an offshoot. There was an offshoot of Bumper where somebody had added in Knuckles and Tails, and I remember in the comments people were talking about it, and it was like, yeah, Infinity got to it first before they did, because they were also doing it for a while.
We will also be the first to be releasing a like a 3D, fully fleshed out playable Whisper in like a framework. We aren't the first one to release Whisper in a fan game. SRB2 beat us to that, but we had been conceptualizing Whisper long before SRB2 did.
And then Big isn't playable. Yeah, Big was playable.
Yeah,
No, it was totally playable. Did you not see that one YouTube video?
I guess jokes aside, now that I'm gonna be like retiring, I was actually planning on adding Big the Cat. That was something I was going to do. I kept teasing, telling everyone I wasn't going to do it, but I was actually going to, but now I'm not because I'm leaving. The only possible way that Big the Cat would get added is if Reese and Emmanuel decided to do it, or if I decide to do it like in my own offshoot. Like that's the one thing I do in my spare time is I add Big the Cat in my own offshoot. I don't think that will happen. I think I'm gonna just move on and do other things. I think I will also like I'm still gonna manage. I think like we can still do the what's it called?
Plus
The
pack?
game, the level jam.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to do the plus packs, you can. I'm not going to be working on them, but if you want to do the plus packs, you can. Technically, you and Emmanuel will be taking over the project, unless you guys don't want to. In which case, whoever takes it on will take it on. But that's up to you and Emmanuel. You guys will have to say that. You'll have to make that as your own announcements. But quid pro quo, once I leave, it will be you and Emmanuel, who will be like the joint heads. But if you wanted to add Big the Cat, then you could. But you could add all the plus pack characters you want. You could do that. You could add Mig T, and then Ray, and then Professor Pickle, and then Maria, and her only ability will be getting shot.
Damn. You press on the game.
You press any button as Maria, and she just gets shot and dies. That's the only thing she can do.
Damn.
If you try
that gunshot sound effect that was from the like the menu of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah. Anytime, like the only thing you can do as Maria is run around. Like if you try to jump, you try to do anything else, you'll get shot. But even if you start running, a countdown timer will begin, and it'll play the drowning music. And then when the drowning music goes up, you just get shot.
Wow, dude!
Don't add Maria.
Don't add Maria. Wow, is that the one condition now?
It is a little sad not being able to see like an official playable Big the Cat, but who knows? Maybe someone will do it. Well, it's not like there's going to be that many more characters at.
Official.
Yeah, if you and Emmanuel do it, it'll be official.
Play Sonic Frontiers status video.
It's a compilation of the gun mod. I'm here, reaching out across these new frontiers.
Sonic Frontiers gun mod. I can't remember that. I mean, somebody's modded in Honey the Cat in the Frontiers, and I need to play the game again. I'm gonna probably stream it when I play as a Honey the Cat. It'll be so weird though whenever it goes to the cutscenes, and it'll just be Sonic talking. Put it in Japanese.
Man. It's like Whisper staring out of the sunset. Man.
You can go down to the beach side and do that.
Can you show Planet Wisp? I mean, I can show Planet Wisp, but it'll it's gonna take a little while to load. Yeah, because I've not opened the project in forever. It's gonna take forever to compile.
You had like what 12,000 shaders to compile before?
I did. I opened up the project to like start the stream, and it took a solid 30 minutes to compile all the shaders. Man.
Now, yeah, just need to have this scene.
Wait.
I go to photo mode as well.
Go into photo mode. Man.
There we are. And then in the distance, you just put a Photoshop Fizz's avatar. as he's leaving.
What's the screenshot? Is it F9?
I think it's F9 for
Yeah. Or is it F10?
I have no idea. I think try F9 again when you're not inside the window.
I did. Is it F12?
No, it's definitely not F12. F6?
Nah. Wouldn't be F6. Nope, not that.
It is a button. Snipping tool to the rescue. It is a button somewhere.
Yeah, it's a button. It might have worked and I just didn't want to do it. I don't know. We've shown the photo mode off before, haven't we?
Yeah, we showed the photo.
F8.
Wow,
okay,
F8,
according to
one
JNinja, it's F8.
One button off to the side.
Right there.
I love the reticles on screen.
That was it, right? F8? Yeah, it's... I don't know.
You pop up maybe disabled for it.
Yeah, that could be the case. All right.
You got like 10 screenshots of Whisper just staring off into the ocean now.
All right. Well, I'll try to open a Planet Wisp, but I can't guarantee it'll fucking work. I know we've shown Planet Wisp before, but we didn't show like Whisper side of things.
Oh dear me, it's probably going to take a bit.
Yeah, random Sonic fact. I think. Can you hear me, Reese?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My OBS froze for a minute.
Yeah, everything is just having a bad time because it's loading stuff. I got an ad, so I couldn't see if it was true. JNinja, the pop-up didn't pop up, but maybe...
Yeah, it didn't pop up, so I don't think it worked.
You lied! Fired.
Mm.
No, you're cool, Jay. Please stay.
I'm here, reaching out across these new frontiers.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of shaders.
Once the navigation is done and like the mesh distance fields are done, it'll like
OBS. Oh, I love it. Resources.
Yep.
Oh dear. Planet Wisp was going to be kind of cool, to be honest. I was looking forward to actually trying to make it work. Just
you can keep working on it if you want.
Well, I know I could. I probably will if I do continue. Thing is, after January, I'm probably not going to be working on Unreal for a while anyway, because I really need to get stuff together for me IRL.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say I'll never work on Infinity again. I like it.
I will. I actually kind of want to start looking for a different job here soon. I want to do one or two things. I either want to look for a different job, or I want to see if I can transfer to the location near where I live. Because I'm fucking hating where I work right now. I don't necessarily hate the work itself. I don't like really hate the job. I just hate the location I work at.
Yeah. Mood.
Oh my lord. Once these nav mesh distance fields finish, it'll clean up. I took a nap earlier. I don't know if I told you this. I took a nap earlier because like I was really fucking tired. I only slept for about like 5 or 6 hours, so I decided to take a nap.
Yeah.
And in the process of taking my nap, I had rolled onto my back, which I never do. I never sleep on my back. I always sleep on my sides. So it was really weird. I rolled on my back, and then in the process of rolling on my back, I snored like really fucking loud, and I woke myself up. I don't normally snore when I sleep. I'm just a heavy breather, but laying on my back ended up causing me to snore.
Strange. Oh, we're almost there. 1,000 shares. Yo, look, there's some liquid down there. Some toxic sludge.
Yummy.
Just that terrain. Oh, the terrain's loading again. I was just about to say that terrain's taking forever, but it's loading in. Yo, we're in the hundreds now.
I'm trying to think of a random Sonic fact.
Oh yeah, you still have to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one.
Did you know?
Did you know?
IDW is now canon.
What do y'all think about UI5? I've been enjoying UI5, like UE5. Anytime I work in UE5, which is what all my new projects are being worked in, I've enjoyed it.
I've never downloaded Unreal Engine 5 yet.
Hmm.
I don't have any space on my computer too. And also my Epic launcher is a bit corrupted. I need to uninstall and reinstall it. $59.
59. And my stream is buffering like really bad. OBS is fine now, but like the stream connection is buffering.
It'll stabilize itself.
Yeah, well, now the shaders are done.
There we go. Shader's done.
Okay, now we're back. I don't know if anyone heard anything about what happened over the past 5 minutes.
How was stream for y'all the last 5 minutes? Did you enjoy?
Did it work?
Did it work?
All right. UE5 is hell. I've enjoyed it. It's got issues. It definitely has issues, but
I think that's the thing with me as well with Unreal Engine 5 at the moment. It's brand new, so I'm probably gonna wait a while before I'd even think about downloading it. Because I know it's got some problems.
Yeah. The lighting in this is not ideal. I don't know if we ever like actually probably.
The lighting is really bad because we had it as a day and night cycle for a while. And I don't know if we disabled the day and night cycle or if it's still on, but either way the shadows have not been recompiled properly for it, like the lightning build.
No.
So everything's incredibly dark.
So Michael, I'm not leaving the server. I've said this like 4 times. I will not be leaving the server. I probably won't be leaving the dev server either. It's kind of just become like a hangout point. I'll snoop my nose around, see what Emmanuel and Reese are up to. I'm technically the owner of it still.
Well, yeah.
So if someone else wants to take ownership of it, or if someone else wants to like officially take over like development of the project, and they're voted in, then I can hand ownership over to them. But so what, Reese?
It's just now you are a retired developer.
Not yet.
A retired developer role.
Yeah, just create a retired role.
Yeah. I mean, the Riders Tournament Edition do that.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we have shown this off before. This map has 2 primary routes.
5 FPS.
Yeah. There's this This initial route here, which is the speed route and this fly route. And then there's another route over here that was the power route and the whisper route.
You could change the view into top down. Actually, it might be a bit easier to show that way.
Where's how do I do that?
Very top left where it says perspective.
Oh, right, perspective top.
Yeah. Oh, and then you can change.
I'll do unlit.
Yeah, unlit. Gives you kind of like a map layout sort of thing.
Yeah. So this here would be the entrance part. Let me see if I can do lit because without the shadows, getting depth is kind of. Yeah, here we go. So here would be the start of the level. And right here, as you can see with the dirt paths, it branches off. We got a path in this direction. This would have been the speed direction. You would have gone down here, go on like in between like a little cave thing around the corner, like around this bank. There's also like another route you could have taken. You can see this white line that's like a zip line right there. It'll take you to an upper route as well. Come down through here. This here is kind of, we called this area the forest, like the tall tree forest.
I did like this section, especially with that dugout quarry trench.
Yeah, there's like a little dugout quarry trench with like water. I like how we have waterfalls on this side, like water stuff, and we also have like a waterfall on this side, like right next to each other.
Yeah.
So you will never be able to see up here, but if like we were to actually like build this out, there'd probably be like a pool of water up here or something. And if you also pay attention, like the water, how the water, like there's a tiny little like river right here that runs across, and it like leads out into like this giant lake that's right here. Like all this is just a massive lake. So you would like follow along here. You could, if you took the upper route, like there's a spring up here that you could that would launch you over to this specific tree right here that you could then like dash across and use these upper routes. And from the upper route, there was 2 wisps right here. There was a green hover that you could use to like a light speed dash across all these. And there is also a crimson eagle that you could use to like dash across these areas up to this little island in the middle of the lake. And you could explore the island around a little bit before coming over to this cannon, which would shoot you right over onto this
lip.
Like this little lip that once you use these springs and get up here would actually lead you to an alternate entrance to this massive cave right here. Like this here is a massive cave. Did y'all use cube map lighting and the sky lighting for this map? I don't think we did. I don't know. I don't mess with the lighting. I don't know the details.
We never really did any proper lighting.
No, we never really built any. We never got that far into it. But if you didn't take the upper routes, there's these other routes here. You could like go on one side of the quarry or the other or down the middle. There were like, you can see this trail of rings that kind of just leads you down the center of the forest, but these other lines, like there's a cyan laser right here you can take that would have shot you up and out of the quarry to this upper ledge right here. And there's also these grind rails that you could take that bob and weave you around the forest. It looked pretty cool. One of them would just drop you off on the route, whilst the other one would like shoot you up here. How's it going, Lemon? It's super early. What do you mean it's super early? I've been awake for like, or I've not been awake. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours. How are you doing today, Lemon? Work in progress. Yeah, we had a lot of the Sonic side actually like finished. Or at least like mostly blocked out and mostly blocked out and stuff. There is a little cave that was like right here. This here was a cool waterfall sequence that you would like go underneath the waterfall, and you could also see the waterfall from the outside on this island. But it would take you up here into this cave, and then you would do a bunch of stuff in the cave. The cave, we'll go into more detail in the cave later, but the cave had like a 2D section as well as like an alternate upper route and a more high skill route that was cyan laser. I saw you on Nini's stream. Nini and I stream together all the time. Although we're not going to be doing that for a little bit because Nini's taking a break until the end of January. And then the cave would let out to an Eggman facility that's right here. This Eggman facility was kind of where we stopped working for the most part.
It's just very block out at the moment. You can just see that the major platforms.
Yeah. So that would have been like Sonic's route, like Sonic and Tails' route, or Silver. We didn't really have anything for Silver here. It wasn't really meant for Silver.
No.
There up here was an alternate route. This here is a little cave that, you know, you can't really get through. Sonic, like Tails can't walk into it at all. Knuckles can go in and Whisper can go in. Sonic can go in too, but even if Sonic went in, there would be no way for Sonic to go anywhere. I specifically built this cave in a way that Sonic would not be able to traverse it. And then you lead out, and then there's this massive field, which we'll go into more. Like, I'll show this off more because I know we've shown Sonic and Tails' stuff off before. We've never shown all this off. This is basically like a huge field that you kind of just explore around freely as either Whisper or Knuckles. And right here are two different exits. Like, you can see one exit with like rings and another exit with the dirt path. These were blocked off by a barrier, and at the beginning of this section, you would be like there was like a hint ring that said, "Hey, you can't leave this area until you find the 3 switches," and there were 3 switches hidden. There's a switch here. There's a switch.
I'm back.
Here, and then there's a switch here. And you'd have to hit all 3 switches and then open the barrier. It didn't matter what order, as long as you just hit the switches, and then the switches would unlock the doors, and then the doors led open to this cave that we'll show off here in a little bit. And then the cave would lead out to the other side of the Eggman facility. So the two alternate routes would meet up at the Eggman facility. One would go around one side of the lake, the other one would go around the other side of the lake. And then you would go through the Eggman facility, and the Eggman facility was going to lead out into this long stretch that wrapped around. This is kind of just going to be more of a high-speed fun section before it would let out right up here on this ledge, and this ledge was going to be like a lookout point for the rest of the level. Like, you get to this point, and you would be presented with 2 options. You could either look out to the like you could either finish the level through the goal ring, or there was going to be a warp ring that if you wanted to, you could go through the warp ring, or you can hit a switch, you would activate a warp ring, and the warp ring would lead you right back to the beginning. You could like replay the level right then and there if you wanted to. That was the original idea. So yeah, so with Sonic's route, there's a whole bunch of stuff you could do over here. Take you up this upper route, or take this lower route. The upper and lower route had their own like checkpoints and stuff like that.
It was one of our bigger levels that we planned to do.
Yeah.
Just as a big showcase of everything.
Here's the forest. The forest is pretty cool. We had like little quarry you could go through. Quarry was like riddled with Eggman parts. Like the whole idea of this level was like a revisit to Planet Wisp after defeating Eggman. So all of Eggman parts would like have been decayed and stuff like that. Too much foliage. Oh, we had the foliage subsections into like level streaming. This level ran very, very well. Yeah, here is the upper path you could have taken with the sign laser.
LOD'd.
So what?
I can't remember if we LOD'd the foliage as well.
I think we did with the foliage. But I don't know about a lot of the other assets. Could have taken the cyan laser right up here. Would have led you up here. We didn't really put anything up here. We probably should have. I think I was going to stick like a extra life or some up here. This here is a barrier that you could get into that had like a frenzy wisp that you could grab and an extra life, but the only way to like open this barrier up would be to defeat all the enemies, because inside of this like entire quarry are like it's like a bunch of enemies scattered around. Like I got some enemies here on this side. Got a couple enemies over on this side. Some more enemies like as you go forward. and there's like
What will
enemies
it look
scattered.
like in unlit mode while you're in perspective?
Does this look like unlit? You could see things a little bit better, but
yeah, it's just so you can see the things in the shadows.
yeah. There's also this grind rail route that we had, which, like I mentioned earlier, you would hit this spring down here. It would launch you up, and if you like reacted in time, you could home attack onto the grind rail, move along it. There's the first grind rail, which is the primary one that like takes you along here, and then lets out right here, like at the end of the tree section. But if you swap to the other grind rail would like swerve around here, cut through a couple of trees, wrap up and around, and then it would like launch you up into the air, and there would be like a red ring up here if you got it. Probably could have put like a balloon up here to home attack on, made it easier. But if you took this lower route, you would hit the dash ramp, and then there's like a camera trigger here. The dash ramp would like send you over to the other side automatically. The camera trigger would pull out and like watch you, like with this really cool view of the waterfalls. We plan on putting an alternate route up here using magenta rhythm, but we were waiting on like the rhythm note objects to be finished, which we only finished them after we decided to discontinue this level. But the rhythm wisp would have taken you across here. But there's also the Crimson Eagle, which the Crimson Eagle would have like launched you across these here and like shot you over here. And I think we were gonna like put a spring to launch you up, versus if you took the hover, which is slightly slower, you could like light speed dash across the rings and it would let you out over here. And then there's this whole cave right here. This entire cave. There's this
took a long time.
Yeah, this cave took a long time. If you took this upper route up here and like made this like not super difficult jump, but it was a little bit of a tricky jump. You had to like take this upper route up here, defeat all of these enemies, and you would be able to like open this barrier, which would take you straight out of the cave. This is technically like the fastest route to the cave, assuming you can defeat the enemies quickly, which is actually what that frenzy was for. Like if you grabbed that frenzy wisp and destroyed all those enemies, it'd be significantly faster. But this cannon on this island would shoot you across over to here onto this lip, which you could then bounce up here with the springs, and it would let you up here like automatically. You would miss the frenzy wisp, but like the amount of like time you would be saving without having to go through all of that would probably like make up for it. There were two different routes here. This cave was like covered in water, so there was no way of getting like out of the water and up to the exit, because the exit was, there's an exit right here, and then there was an exit right here. And the only way to get up to this exit was to use the Ivory Lightning Wisp to like home attack across the spires, hit enemies, and then use the Ivory Lightning grind rail to this middle island. Alternatively, there was this cannon. And if you use this cannon, if you manage to like get up on this island, the cannon would shoot you up into the air, make you grab an Ivory Lightning Wisp in midair, and then you would land on this island, which you can then like use the Ivory Lightning Wisp to either charge the pylon to open the barrier, or you could just like move on without it. And then you'd have to like do this slightly more difficult climb with the Ivory Lightning through here. I think this is technically the faster route of the two other routes, because the other route was a 2D section, and the 2D section had two different routes you could have taken. There's this lower route, which if you came down here, you can take this lower route, which if you went in the correct direction, you would grab yourself a cyan laser. And you can use the cyan laser to like zip around really quickly if you use it in the right spots to like zip around the little cyan laser crystals, which would put you out right over here. You can grab yourself an extra life, and then you would like run up the wall into the exit, or you could, if you didn't grab the cyan laser, you could just platform through all of this by yourself. Or if you took the upper route, you would actually grab a yellow drill and drill through all of this here. And you could grab a red ring up here. And there's another like drill to like escape. And then you could like escape pretty high up out here. And then all you had to really do is like hit this dash panel, which would hit the dash ring and launch you up here. Which would let you out in this area. This area was meant to be like a connected piece to like connect you from out there to in here, but we never really finished it. And this is an example where the Eggman runes will be. The Eggman ruins had like a pretty long, or not super long, but like a winding interconnected route that you could take through it. And there's going to be like a couple of secret paths you can use, maybe one with like a rocket wisp that would like shoot you up the center or something like that. And then there is the route over here. This could be taken with Knuckles. Knuckles could climb up here easily, no problems at all. And then you'd have to break through this wall, which with Whisper you can use with the Black Bomb, because Wisp on projectiles can interact with things. Or at least they were going to. I don't know if we actually got that working. After that, it was just... This here was meant to be like a Whisper tutorial room is what it was meant to be. Knuckles could go through here and beat the shit out of enemies and like really let loose with the combat mode that we had. So a lot of these enemies could be beaten up as either Knuckles or Whisper. But it was mainly meant for Whisper, but we tested it with Knuckles as well. We had like just a bunch of random enemies scattered throughout just for fun. There was a lot of enemy sections that were set up specifically to like showcase a specific wisp, like this one right here. There was this hint ring that would be like, oh, this here is a Crimson Eagle wisp. You use it to like shoot down specific targets. Like it has a homing property that lets you to shoot down targets from pretty much anywhere, and you could like use them to kill these enemies, and these enemies were linked to this cube that would then, like these two cubes that would then disappear, and then you can move on with Whisper. And there's also one like down here for, I think it was, yeah, burst. You'd kill all the enemies here, unlock that, and then the spring would shoot you up here. And then if you wanted to, you could technically swap routes. If you were on this side, you could swing across with these pylons, or if you're on this side, you could use like the... If you were Knuckles, you could use the Rocket Wisp to launch yourself over to the other side, but as Whisper, you can't use Rocket Wisp. You would use Rocket Wisp to destroy all these enemies. Once all the enemies were destroyed, it would open up this little barrier that allows you to swing across the pylons over to here, which would then teach you how to use Blue Cube. Defeating all the enemies here would open this up, and this would be the first of the 3 switches you would have to hit. These enemies are all optional. This would simply just lead you to an extra life. We had a section right here for cyan lasers, so if you like went over in this direction, use this pylon to swing onto this middle island, you could use cyan laser and snipe down 3 different sets of enemies, which would then open this up and lead you to the first switch as well. So there is multiple routes to the first switch. This here was just a fun little battle area that you could just fight with any wisp or anything to unlock the barrier and grab yourself a red ring. Same thing, enemies that just open up barriers. This one here was for a different kind of switch. I don't remember what this switch did. Oh wait, no, this was a timer switch. That timer switch would activate this barrier for a set amount of time, allowing you to hit the spring and shoot yourself up here. So there's even a third option. But whether you took that route over there, with that route you would have to like swing across this pylon to get onto this path. But if you took this route, you could also shoot across with this pylon to get onto this path, which acted like as like an archway or like a bridge. They're ripped from Generations. Had an alternate path up here, or not really an alternate. It's like a little secret hidden one up if you manage to swing up there. using the pylon. There's a route over here that if you swing across, you would have to destroy these enemies to hit that switch, and then the last switch was located like right over here. Then once all 3 switches were hit, these 2 barriers that you see right here would have turned off, allowing you to proceed. You could either take the lower route, which the lower route would lead you down into the water. And then the water was blocked off with a barrier that required you to find, I think, just 2 switches. I think it was just that one and then that one. Like, you hit those 2 switches and you could proceed. This was meant to be like the slow route. But then you could, like, leave. And there's supposed to be more stuff to do here, but we never got around to it. But there is an option also to, like, jump across here and swing across all this stuff. This area is kind of where I stopped development. There is a lot of things that I had planned here. If you took this upper route, you could, like, shoot up here and then swing across to, like, take this route. There's enemies here that you would defeat to unlock this barrier and take this route. And then a lot of the routes would convene here. I had this upper route figured out and planned, and the upper route would zip you right across over to Eggman's area. But there's gonna be like more stuff up this hill and more stuff down here to like slow you down. So yeah, that's primarily what Planet Wisp was. Where's the player start at? It's inside the cave. How do you, what's the key to like playing unlit mode? I don't remember. Is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, this cave was pretty unfinished. This here is where I stopped development. This is where I'm like, all right, I'm running out of steam. I need to like work on other things. Oh shit. That wasn't set properly. What's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. We changed a lot of the properties of the springs. All of their launch destinations were changed. Or like were reset because we changed the properties of their launch destinations. Shit. What makes it cooler is Whisper's canon in the games. Yep, Whisper is now canon in the games.
Yep, we did this before she was canon.
Yep. So technically, she's a game character. No, I'm kidding. She's not.
Yeah, I was about to say. Your original rule is technically still been followed.
Yeah, I still count her as a comic book character because that's where she originates. But the fact that she's canon in the games now is pretty nice.
Cool. It just makes you think that like all of those things that happened in the comic happened before Frontiers.
Yeah, I know.
It's like we had the whole Metal Sonic rising up again, then we had the Metal Virus saga, and now Surge and Kit are running around.
Metal Virius.
It is neat. I do like having a unified canon like that. There's pros and cons to it though, obviously, because some people will get lost about it if they don't follow the comics and stuff. But it's just cool to have like extra story sort of thing, especially to tide us over between games.
Extra.
Extra
I've not caught up with the IDWs, but that's just because I stopped buying them until I could like get a job. I remember one day I was like, you know what? I need to do some project work. but I don't want to like do any level design. I want to do some aesthetic design, so I threw all of this together.
You just made a wall.
I made a wall because like I wanted to be able to see this from over here was the thing. So if you're like over here, I wanted to be able to see Eggman's fucking level or like
is influence.
Yeah, was the idea.
Originally, when I was talking about the level, like when we were first designing, I wanted to just make it purely just Wisp, like nothing Eggman related. But it gets to a point where it's like, the assets from Eggman are good.
Because Planet Wisp is like 70% Eggman, there are significantly more Eggman assets. Just there's so many Eggman assets. There's surprisingly fewer like Planet Wisp assets that we could rip from. So after a while, it started to feel a little samey. So I'm like, all right, we will have one Eggman area, like one dedicated Eggman area, and also we're going to like increase how much Eggman debris is laying around. So like I just increased how much Eggman debris is laying around in the area. Just to like spice it up visually. That was going to be sitting in the background, but the materials, we never got the materials setting up. Yep. I was going to set some more Eggman stuff in here, like in this area, and then obviously this area has Eggman stuff all over it.
Yeah. It's very useful for the 2D section stuff.
Yeah, these are very useful for 2D sections.
A lot of like nice straightaways and stuff that came with Eggman assets. Yeah,
and then
level,
this was going to wrap around here. And then
originally this was going to be a river that you ran along.
Yeah.
That was my idea. It was going to be like a big raging river. And then you get to like this area, and then this is where the end is. You loop back, and then you get to see the valley you've just conquered.
Yeah, you would have seen the areas you were just in. And then there would have been a goal ring, and there would have been an optional warp ring that whenever you ran through, the warp ring would lead you right back to the beginning of the game. Like right here. And you would have just exited like right out of this little pocket. Been like, woo. I remember we spent a long time dedicated like designing this little fun runaround spot. This little playground. We spent a long time doing all this. So yeah, there's Planet Wisp, and these will be included in the release, by the way. Like all these files will be in the release. So you guys will be able to either like play around with it or finish it up if you want. That'll be up to you guys.
After if I am to continue afterwards, I probably will come back to this and try and finish it up because it feels a little off to me not having a finished level. Yeah. But I think I'll just do later on. Who knows? Who knows?
If I had a friend Infinity Plus server and he joined because I mentioned Whisper. Yeah, we will be the first to have released a framework with Whisper. Like a playable Whisper.
Good old Whipper.
Unless the framework takes off after this release and like a lot of people like jump on board, I don't think anybody's going to be adding Whisper to anything for a while. Whisper will be one of those characters that doesn't get added to like fan games or frameworks until like she almost becomes a fucking legacy character, and then everyone will be like, "Oh, remember Whisper?"
Damn. Back in the day.
She's gonna be like Mighty, because remember nobody was adding Mighty to fucking anything until Mighty kind of just became a legacy character, and now he's in fucking everything. You can't go 2 minutes without tripping over a Mighty shell.
Kirishima. It's makes me happy though as a Mighty fan. Was I just a hipster? I don't know. It's like, yo, I want like Mighty because nobody else knows who this guy is, and then everybody started knowing who he is, and I'm like, oh, Mighty's so cool.
Now that you guys are gonna have a framework that'll have a really fleshed out Whisper, then you guys will be able to make all y'all will be able to make fan games with it now. I think like ignoring the bugs, this next update will be the most feature complete update.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things that I would have liked to have done, but honestly, I'm not too bothered about it. Mostly related to enemies. It was mostly related to like bosses and enemies and stuff like that. In terms of like actual features, but to be honest, if we continue, like even if I continue development, there wouldn't be a whole lot I was going to be doing. It was mostly just going to be working with bosses and enemies, and then cleaning up more assets and more code, and then the plus pack characters, and secretly working on Big the Cat. But I don't know. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to do other things. I have done what I want to do with this. I have Whisper was I will consider Whisper like my piece de resistance, I guess. Like what's the word? My send off?
Epitome?
I guess. I don't know.
I guess just a send off is the word you could say.
Yeah, Whisper will be my send off, is the thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, was any last minute questions? If not, we got quite a few people here, so I'm actually gonna raid the Sonic Riders because they're online right now.
Raiding Sonic Riders.
Yep.
Raiding Riders.
Were there any other questions? Any comments? Anything people want to like mention? What did I get a missed call from? I don't know what this number is.
IRS. You're avoiding your taxes.
No. Not Written Rouge. I meant about like Whisper specifically, but oof. I'm gonna have to go to bed here soon. I'm getting tired. I got work tonight.
Damn work.
Yeah.
You mean you've been streaming for like 3 hours almost, to be honest, for just showing off Whisper.
Yeah, well, there's a lot about Whisper.
There was.
Alrighty, well, we're gonna call it good here. Thank you everybody for joining in. I hope you guys are excited for Whisper. I'm ready to get this out for you guys. That way you guys can use the framework and to its like more fullest extent. It may not be like an actual like official 1.0, but it'll be my 1.0 is what it'll be. Because there's probably gonna be a lot of problems and issues with it. Sonic Rider. Hold on. Oh, I know. It's Sonic Riders Competitive is what it is. Raid. Sonic Riders. Is it gonna take that name? Okay, yeah.
There we are.
Alrighty, well, thank you for everybody for showing up and joining in. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And have a happy new year. It'd be my last stream for the year, so have a happy new year. You all have a great rest of your day.
Yep. See you later.
Bye.
Twitch recap is here. We did together. Let's see. What's my Twitch recap? Oh.